Good evening, good morning, good day. This is Travis Lavka. Welcome to another episode of the Human Upgrade Project with me, your host. This is episode number 6, technically 7 if anybody's keeping count. And tonight, again, to start the show off, let some people come on, or some person, because it's usually like one or two people at this time of night, which is all good. To start off, we'll go back to the good old random squared, bizarre national holidays that apparently probably nobody cares about or knows about. Maybe if people knew about them, they'd care about them. There's a thought. Who knows? Yeah, deep thoughts, right? Anyways, not today, because there's no more minutes left in today. It's officially tomorrow, right now. So, good day to you today, tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this. Today's bizarre national holidays in the United States. I need to preface that because I don't know if anybody in the world is watching this, and just in case you do, these are bizarre holidays in the United States, and if there are any bizarre holidays in your country, feel free to let me know in the comments below, because I would love to learn about other national holidays. I love other cultures. Those of you who didn't know, I actually lived in Mongolia for almost a year and a half, and I lived in New Zealand for just barely over a year, or right at a year. Anyways, today's bizarre national holidays are National Piercing Day. So, if you don't have any piercings, why not get a few? It's all the rage, right? Or you know what would be even better? Since tattoos are so popular, get a tattoo of a piercing. Always thinking. Number 2 bizarre national holiday is Wear Purple for Peace Day. So if you're into peace, which I'm into peace, I mean, who's not into peace? I don't own anything purple. No, don't own anything purple. Pretty much everything I own is like monochrome. Unless somebody else buys it for me, it's monochrome. I go in the store, pick it off the shelf, and walk out of the store 90% of the time, because it's inefficient to try on clothes unless you're shopping for a really special event. Then I make an exception. So, National Piercing Day and Wear Purple for Peace Day today. Enjoy those. And with that said, looks like my YouTube stream is not working, but I'm just going to keep going because that's what you got to do. And I'm recording these now. So today's title of this episode is Why I'm Super Frustrated and How I Deal with It, with a subtitle of The Frustrating Thing About Frustrating Things is They're Frustrating. When was the last time you were frustrated? I get frustrated pretty often. I've learned over the years good ways to deal with the frustration 97% of the time. And why quick break. My computer is having some issues here, but I'm just gonna, hopefully it's gonna work and we're gonna roll with it, or I'll have to reshoot this. Anyways, where was I? Frustration. And dealing with frustration. And why I am so frustrated right now, it stems from another story that I probably should tell tomorrow or maybe this weekend that has to do with an injury that I got that caused me to not be able to do ballet or powerlifting for a while. And that's a really good story, by the way. So I'll post about that before I actually do it because that's a really good story. Anyways, the frustrating part right now is my leg is what was injured, my calf. And it's pretty much back to, no, it's not pretty much, it's getting better. I thought it was better than it is. And the frustrating thing is I was able to start powerlifting again. I'm not doing anything big like deadlifts. Today I did like 4 sets of 4 with 405, 405 pounds. Woo! I mean, whoopity-doo on that one, right? In the past, that was over 500 I was doing. And anyways, it'll come back. I'm not worried about that. But so I train, and then I go to ballet. I'm running around, go to ballet, and during the last couple of ballet classes, I've noticed that as we're going through warm-ups and pliés and relevés and susus and everything that we go through, my right calf tires out really, really quickly to the point where I can't do a calf raise, which is releve if you want to know the ballet term. So I can't do that on one leg. I can do 2 feet because I can use my left leg, which is nice and strong like normal. The biggest frustration of that too, so one, it doesn't have any stamina right now. It's coming back. And side note, as I'm going through and listing, if you hear me listing off things that sound like I'm complaining or I'm listing off a bunch of problems or whatever, I do things as facts. There's certain facts that you can't deny. There's certain ways there's certain things they're just facts. So I'm not a big complainer. I don't like complaining, but sometimes you have to state the facts. So, fact is, my leg's just not as strong as it's going to be as I continue doing the work I'm doing to make it stronger. But right now, it's not. And the part that kind of gets me like, is I wasn't able to do ballet at all for about 4 months, for a long time. And so I went back and I thought, well, great, I don't have an extensive amount of ballet experience, and a lot of times it's overwhelming with the amount of things that you do in class, remembering the combinations. But I went back and I was pleasantly surprised that apparently during all of the rehearsing that I did for The Little Mermaid, for my pas de deux in that, my brain got stronger. Because I'm able now, even after having a huge break from classes, I'm able to do things and remember things even better than I was before I had this injury. So I guess, that's a good thing, but meh, in the grand scheme of things, not happy still. Anyway, so I'm really excited because I'm like, holy crap, I got this, like, yes, 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 as the teacher's going through it. I'm like, boom, 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 got it. Okay, we do it. Arms, the whole bit, arms, that's where you start having trouble. You start putting your arms into it, doing things, and it's like rubbing your head and patting your tummy kind of a thing until you get used to it. So I'm able to get these things down really well, right? And I'm like, I can pick this up so much quicker now than I could in the past. But I can't physically do some of the combinations because I just can't physically do them. Like the leg doesn't, the calf does not do what it's supposed to do. And again, the story is actually really funny. There's one really funny part. The rest of the story actually just awful, but there's one really funny part. So you'll have to hear it when I tell it. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow just because it's such a funny. It's just because the one part is great. The rest of it's just all about perseverance and discipline and me just putting my head down and driving forward. The reason I bring all this up is because there have been places, and the reason that I'm not like freaking out and just complaining about it is I've learned over the years through a variety of other things, specifically most recently with this injury, on how to realize that when you're frustrated about something, when I'm frustrated about something, it 99.9% of the time means you're going to learn something. Right? Why are you frustrated? Why am I frustrated? Because I don't know the answer on how to fix something or do something that I want to do. So I could just sit and be frustrated and pissed off and gripe and complain. Or what I found works really well is if you sit down and actually figure out what could work. And what I do is I look back in my history. I take inventory. I told my coach this the other night, my powerlifting coach. I was like, I took inventory of all the things that I was doing when I was basically like at my peak, like a year and a half ago or whenever it was, and I was powerlifting and pulling 600, doing ballet, doing all these things, and everything was working like it should. And I looked back at that and decided and was made myself like, what were the things what was I eating? How much was I sleeping? When was I sleeping? My sleep pretty much never changes, but that's those are the questions that I still ask, right? Was I doing anything different than I'm doing now? Yeah. What were the things I was doing, and what were the things that worked well then? And then I decided, okay, what am I doing now that I need to get rid of and cut out? So I went through and made that list of items, right? So now I have a game plan to use, and a lot of times I'm like, I don't know, like I don't have something from my past in certain situations. I'm like, I don't know. I have nothing to reference this to. When this freaking leg did its thing, this calf, it's more than that, but again, when that happened, I had no reference. Like I've been super lucky. Bull riding, rodeo, the whole thing. I've had some super close calls. I think I've broken some things, never went to the doctor, I don't know. But never had any injuries that literally were months and months and months. I see athletes all the time. They're like, oh yeah, I had this injury. It took me like a year to recover from, or 6 months to recover from. I've never had anything like that that was that debilitating. And this probably is close to that. I mean, it's been 4.5 months, right? But I'm coming back, and I will get back to where I was. But when this happened, I had to say, so, okay, who's somebody I know or who's somebody I've seen that has had a similar issue, whether it's physical or mental or whatever. Who has had this, and do I know them? Do I not know them? Doesn't matter. Can I figure out what they've done and replicate it and then modify it to work for me? And that's why you have to you can't just look at, oh, they're doing like these exercises and these exercises and these exercises. People see me doing things a lot of times and they're just like, oh, I'll just do what Travis does. There's a little more to it than that. There's a lot, even with, there's a lot of stuff probably messed up here, but there's a lot of stuff going on too. There's a lot of strategy and planning and SOPs, standard operating procedures that I've created for everything that I do. And I apply that to everything in my life. But sometimes you have to come up with new stuff. And that's why you have to adapt and pay attention and be aware, as I mentioned last night, of what's going on in your life, in your mind, and in your body. So when I'm frustrated, I'm actually kind of excited. I'm frustrated and excited at the same time because I know that, think about this, next time you get frustrated, ask, why am I frustrated? It's probably because you don't know the answer to what you are frustrated about. Is it something that you need to be frustrated about? That's how I ask myself, should I even worry about this? Can I do something about it? If the answer is no, then I do my best to focus on things that I do have control over. I know that's difficult sometimes. I've had situations where that's really difficult. It's possible, though. And if I do have control over some aspect of it, what can I do to make some sort of progress towards fixing it instead of just being frustrated by it? Because it's fascinating to watch other people. I love watching and listening intently to others because I learn a lot about myself, and I learn a lot about being able to help people, hopefully more. And a lot of times when people get frustrated, they'll spend all their time complaining instead of actually doing something about it. And most of the time, the two don't go hand in hand. I don't see many people complaining and doing something about it. So next time you're out and about and you hear somebody complaining about something or being frustrated by something, if they're not giving a solution to that at the same time, then they're wasting their time and you're wasting your time just listening to it. So just walk away. All right. So I'm keeping this, well, it's going to be probably around 20 minutes again because that just seems to be pretty much the standard right now. I got to get to my nightly routine. And so I can get up in the morning and go get in the freezing river because that's part of what I was doing previously. And it worked. So apparently YouTube thinks I have bad video settings. Hey, Yuri. And Michael's on, maybe. I don't know. I wish it would tell you when people joined. So, if you're frustrated, to kind of wrap it up, if you're frustrated, that's good. It means that you're going to learn something. And if you don't think you're going to learn something, then I can't help you. Nobody can help you. So look forward to frustrations because you're going to figure out, if you look at it from what can I do about this, you're going to learn something. And if you can't do anything about it, then don't worry about it. Again, like I said, sometimes that's easier said than done. Been there. Don't know if I'll ever share those stories or not, but maybe at some point I will. Because, yeah. So, I'm going to cut this off, go do my stretching, my night routine, brush my teeth, get my butt in bed, get up, and have another fascinating day. So, with that said, have an amazing day because it's better than the alternative.